Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good evening. We are from Group 2. We'll be presenting our group assignment for the subject of Shipping and Port Management. The introduction for this assignment is ports are gateways to a nation, tend to reflect the country's economy as they grow and develop over the years. New ports will be built while existing ones will be upgraded. Ports are quite specialized and have aligned themselves into the international and regional shipping networks. The shipping industry is one of the most vital branches of the economy, providing employment for local and foreign seafarers. Shipping has been and still is an important factor of a nation's economic growth.
Next is about literature review. I get 3 revision review which are Ronan. Ronan performed a survey of cargo ship routing and scheduling model formulated and published till 1982. Next is Sun and Tan, model distribution of shipment throughput. According to them, gross shipment throughput is a feature of time spent through shipment ship. Since shipment should spend specific time at the port relying open dimension of the shipment, it is and in the range of the gross shipment throughput.
Next, for the overview of the report. The overview of the report is that it consists of the port, which is a place for the ships to land on coast, river, or the lakes. The port also allows the ships to load or unload the passengers or the cargo on the ships. And there are several types of the ports, such as inland ports, fishing ports, warm water ports, dry ports, seaports. Moreover, this report also explained the ships and the types of ship that were there in this sector of the shipping industry. Furthermore, it also contains the container yard, which is a designated storage area for containers in a terminal or dry port before they are loaded or unloaded for a ship. On top of that, the report consists of a container vessel, which is a container ship, also known as a bulk ship, container ships. The report also covers the dry bulk cargo vessel, dry bulk cargo handling function as carrying the bulk amount of the shipments. Uh, the report also includes the general vessel proposing on carrying the package items and the handling, which is the task performed in warehouse and logistic facilities. Moreover, the report also covers the port equipment and facilities and dry port activities. And lastly, the report covers the recommendation on the new port shipping and the management strategy, which is to take the final preload cargo, applying the industrial shrink wrap, encouraging operators, reducing the intermission of equipment, and traffic forecasting for future financial flows of shipping.
Operation and management. For port, a port is a place where the ship land on coast, river, and lakes. The port allows ship to load and unload the passenger or the cargo on the ships. There are many types of port that allow the ship to dock, including inland ports, warm water ports, dry ports, sea ports. The port is an international sea freight service which is for export and import. Other than that, ports also become the function of the domestic sea freight service, which is interland and interregions. The port function are sea transportation of passenger service, support for hinterland development. Moreover, ports support in industry and support the community. There is example of the port, which is inland ports, warm water ports, dry ports, and sea ports.
For the ship is a large vessel that floats on the water, which generally distinguish the boat from different sizes. The ship usually found on the lakes, seas, and rivers. So the type of ship were classified into this type, which is the container ships, which propose this structure of holding huge quantities of the cargo compact in different type of container. And then the second one is bulk carrier ships, which transport cargoes, which usually dry cargo in the bulk quantities. And third is the tanker ships, which specialized vessels which serve the purpose of carrying large amount of liquid cargo. The fourth one was roll and roll off, the ro-ro ships, which is the type that were used to carry away cargo. And then the fifth was passenger ships, were used for transiting the passengers, which are mainly classified such as ferries and cruise ship. And the last one is offshore vessels, which is mainly help in oil exploration and construction jobs at the sea.
Next is container yard. A container yard, also known as CY for short, is a designated storage area for containers in a terminal or dry port before they are loaded or offloaded from a ship. A CY is used for aligning containers, for loading on a ship, and for storing offloaded containers till they are shifted to the rail yard (CFS) or delivered to the consignee. These are the configuration of the container yard. Linear layout account for the simplest and least capital-intensive yard operations. At start, containers can be stored on chassis that can be parked in parallel L1 for space maximization or diagonally L2 to favor quick drop-off and retrieval that is common for intermodal rail terminals. Straddle carry configuration L3 store containers 1 or 2 in height along rows over which a straddle carries drive. This is common for average density yards that can store around 700 TEU per hectare. Ridge stackers can be used to stack full containers in piles up to 3 in height L4, which is mainly used in intermodal terminals. The majority of container ports have empty stacks L5 with higher stacks about 5 containers that are managed by ridge stackers. Block layouts are more capital intensive as they rely on gantry cranes to manage stacks. A group of stacked containers serviced by a crane is called a block. Rubber-tired gantry cranes allow for high stacking density in the range of 1,000 TEU per hectare, where blocks can be side-loaded. B1 faster individual container access time but lower stacking density, or front-loaded. B2 slower individual container access time but higher stacking density. Wide-span gantry cranes operating on fixed rails allows for the highest stacking density in the range of 2,000 TEU per hectare and be side-loaded B3 or front-loaded B4. Automated container yards usually rely on front-loading gantries.
Next is container vessel. Container vessel or container ship, also known as a box ship, is a cargo that uses the containerization method to carry all its cargo in truck-sized intermodal containers. It is a popular commercial intermodal freight transportation method. 20-foot equivalent units are used to measure the container ship's capacity in TEU. Typical loads often consist of a mixture of ISO standard 20 foot, which is equal to 1 TEU, and 40 foot 2 TEU containers, with the latter being predominant.
Next, dry bulk cargo vessel. A ship built to transport dry commodities in bulk is known as a dry container vessel. Shipments like bag cargoes, forest product and steel goods, as well as a general cargo like cereals, minerals, iron ore, coal, bauxite, alumina, and so on. Dry cargo ships make up the majority of the global commerce fleet and have their own cargo loading machinery. This vessel may operate in the time trade, where they would go whenever they were needed, but they also occasionally provided a regular service as linear between 2 or more ports.
Next is dry bulk cargo handling. Dry bulk cargo are various storage items that are transported by logistic company in sizable unpackaged piece and are weighed in ton of weight tonnage (DWT). Dry bulk cargo handling is the act of store, release and move large quantity of dry commodity, include coal, wood chips and stone. In dry bulk cargo handling sector, heavy stationary machinery made expressly for handling dry and powdered materials is the norm. These dry materials must be stored by the equipment and then moved from their source to a secondary location where they will be treated.
Next, general cargo vessel. Breakbulk, also referred to as a general cargo vessel, is frequently in bags or on pallets. Although such item may be handled in specialized facilities, crane and strap for box or slings are typically used for loading and unloading for bags. These ships can also transport erratic and loose goods, in which case the port stevedores and the ship's crew will pack the cargo to minimize damage and maximize space. Also, bulk and container carrier have mostly taken the position of conventional cargo vessels they still exist today. The largest type of bulk carrier is called capesize bulker ship. The capesize bulker ship is a type of ship that cannot pass through the Panama Canal because of its large size. Therefore, it travels between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, passing by the Cape of Good Hope in Africa. The name capesize was derived from its required travel path. Another example of capesize ship is a bulk carrier for coal. This ship carries coal for coal-fired power generation plants and is designed based on the depth, specialized berth of the power generation plant and moving area of coal lifting machine. The width is generally extended to increase coal carrying capacity and tonnage to the 80,000 to 90,000 class.
Next, general cargo handling. The term cargo handling refers to all tasks performed in warehouse and logistic facilities, including loading and unloading cargo, transporting cargo, storing, picking, and sorting. Next, cargo handling consists of shipment tasks, which are assortment, taking inventory, transportation, storage, also known as allocation, sorting, and picking. This task has a major impact on logistic productivity and quality. In addition, cargo handling also is a very important element in logistics, which means fuel loss in this area can influence the cost of logistics. So it is highly encouraged to understand all the details of cargo handling components, such as material handling and cargo handling costs as explained below. First, material handling. Generally, material handling refer to equipment or machine that help cargo handling do its task more effectively. As the figure below, example of material handling, such as truck, cart. Next. Next, cargo handling cost. Cargo handling costs comprise the cost of loading and unloading cargo and any claim that may rest in connection with cargo. Besides, cargo handling charges are excluded from voyage charter charge but must be paid for internal work. It can shorten the handling time and reduce the cost of this operation by providing good handling features.
Next, port equipments and facilities. Port equipment is used to load and unload cargo and passengers. First, ship-to-shore container cranes. Ship-to-shore container cranes are made to order with a variety of rich and specification that are particular to each customer needs, from the smallest Panamax crane to the largest Megamax cranes. Second, rubber tire gantry cranes. RTG. The spans of rubber tire gantry cranes range from 5 to 9 container wide, including a truck lane and the range from 1/3 to 1/6 containers. The Libre LRS provide terminals with a fresh impulse. The nimble reach stacker is characterized by its weight shape paired with driving comfort and powerful performance, and was created for quick handling of containers and semi-trailers. A port facility is a specialized area within a port where people or goods are transport between land and water carriers or between two water carriers. For example, CMP crane rails in Denmark. Crane rails were straight and extended in order to boost the crane capacity on leverage at the port of Copenhagen in Denmark. The crane rails on the pier foundation had a total length about 450 meters. Next, port of Göteborg, Sweden. The port serves as a keynote for international container traffic. For ship-to-shore handling, the port has invested in new superposed Panamax cranes and a new terminal master plan with new handling equipment has been designed to satisfy the demand until year 2012.
Okay, okay. For the diport activities, diport activities offer service for the handling and short-term storage of both general and containerized goods that arrive, depart via any form of transportation, including road, railway, inland waterway, and airport. The function and the concept of diport are better understood by understanding the function of seaport, because the diport is same as the seaport. For example, transport activity, regulating functional, monitoring control, pace and diesel control, quality inspection, check on contraband and narcotic. For this, the diagram of the diport activities, so we can better understanding.
For recommendation on new port development strategy, for the first one is take a final preloading cargo. Even though an inventory was taken in the days before shipping, things can still happen right up until the moment of loading. A single pallet of cargo may have unintentionally been moved out of the receiving bay by warehouse employee, or a single box may have been taken from a stack. It's possible that untrained shipping staff won't be aware of this and will continue to load the item onto a trailer and sell it out this way. Make sure the shipping staff do a last inventory before the cargo is loaded in order to prevent the problem. Next is apply industrial shrink wrap. In transportation, cargo is also vulnerable to theft and vandalism. The staff should think about using recyclable heat-seal industrial quality polyethylene shrink wrap when loading items onto an open flatbed or packing them into a trailer or container. Premium grade shrink wrap offers safe, waterproof and corrosion resistant containment up to 300 pounds, which is about 137 kg per square foot. The inside cargo will be safeguarded from climatic change, humidity, human meddling, and even pest infection.
Encouraging operators to engage in healthy competition. One strategy to encourage healthy competition among operators is to continuously analyze their performance and publicize their productivity rankings. The simple knowledge that they are being watched and measured against one another significantly improve performance. Implementation a bonus model of variable remuneration is another option for rewarding operators who perform at their highest level. A small reward can frequently result in a significant return for the business.
The next strategy is reduce the intermission of equipment. It is vital to devise and carry out preventive renovation that allows you to lessen the incidence of corrective maintenance. These making plans should be finished in an included way among innovation groups and operation groups, aligning the duration of downtime of every device with the desires of the operation. Another vital motion to screen is the restore time of the device. It is frequently higher to carry out the instantaneous change of device in preference to trying to restore it in place. An excellent instance in the spreader, a chunk of device that frequently desires renovation. However, in numerous situations, the time to extract is it's far shorter than the time to restore it.
For traffic forecasting for future financial flows of the shipping, the poor demand of the forecasting and this estimation of future revenues and costs could lead to a bad decision on the port investment. Poor timing of the investment in the shipping sector could cause quite big losses in financial. Thus, a high quality of the port traffic forecast can help optimize and rationalize the investment decision regarding the timing of the investment and also could help balance the port demand and their capacity. Moreover, for the port planning context, the port authority must define a long-term direction of the port development, which includes the future port sites, the commodities to be served, and more related destination of various facilities.
In conclusion, the concept of complete logistics and intercontinental distribution are being established and evolving as well as structural change in the transportation system. The role of port has been redefined as a result of the integration of logistics and its relationship to the maritime sector. New approach to the global transportation network have been produced by new pattern of freight distribution. From this report, a multimodal transportation system is used in an intercontinental distribution scenario. There is a list of different port activities and schematic network are used to represent them. In order to predict delivery time of goods through the network, the variability of different activity and amount of time spent in ports, subsequent research will collect data from actual port operation. That's from our group. Thank you.